Dirty! Please remain standing and sing the Williamsburg. Good evening. I am High School Principal Jason Tackett, and I would like to welcome you to Williamsburg High School on this beautiful May evening for the 2021 graduation ceremony. This is a day that some thought would never arrive, and for others, a day that arrived far too quickly. I would like to thank the entire custodial staff of Williamsburg School District, Mr. Randy Germer, Mr. Rick Healy, Ms. Holly Young, Mrs. Candy Bainham, Mrs. Mandy Irwin, Mrs. Morgan Eilerman, Mrs. Robin Fusey, and Mrs. Amy Attinger for all of their behind-the-scenes help over the last few days in preparation for today. A big thank you to our ushers and Mrs. Christy Early for helping seat our friends and families. Their names are printed in your programs. Finally, I would like to thank Mr. Dustin Goes for the musical direction of the band and choir. At this time, I want to thank two groups of people who have had tremendous impact on the lives of those seated on the field today. First, would all of the parents of graduates please stand? Thank you for raising and nurturing such fine individuals. Your love and guidance has been constant, and each graduate truly appreciates it. Next, would all of the Williamsburg Schools faculty and staff members please stand?
Oh, wait till you guys.
We have a dedicated team of teachers and support staff who have spent many hours with our graduates and do such a tremendous job of preparing our students to succeed in whatever the future holds. Please give them a round of applause. At this time, I would like to introduce some of our distinguished guests. Please stand when I call your name. Mr. Matthew Early, Superintendent of Williamsburg Schools. Mrs. Joanna Caraher, Treasurer of Williamsburg Schools. Mr. Kevin Dunn, Williamsburg Elementary School Principal. Mrs. Leslie Zermler, Director of Student Services. With us today are our Board of Education members, President, Mr. Jeff Cummins, Vice President, Mr. Charlie Macklin, Board Member, Mr. Brandon Lindsay, Board Member, Mrs. Sue Madsen, and Board Member, Mr. Greg Wells. Joining us from U.S. Grant Career Center, Superintendent, Mr. Michael Perry, Principal, Mr. Barry Dalton. Miss Paige Fisher, will you please come forward? Paige is the salutatorian of the 2021 senior class, as well as the senior class president. It is my pleasure to present these plaques to her in recognition of these great accomplishments.
Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and fellow graduates. Thank you all for joining us tonight in celebrating our years spent at Williamsburg High School. As president, I am honored to have the privilege to speak on behalf of the class of 2021. To say that I am proud to walk across this stage with my fellow classmates in this beautiful stadium is an understatement. When I was preparing to write this speech, to be honest, I put it off. Not because I'm afraid to cry in front of all these people, which I am fully prepared to do, or the fact that Mr. Tackett asked me on Monday if I was finished yet, and I fibbed and said I was. Sorry, Mr. Tackett. I put this speech off because I could not wrap my head around the fact that the day we've all been waiting for is finally here. The day that we have worked so hard for. The day that we have been dreaming about since we were little kids. These past 13 years have been filled with lots of memories, laughs, and friendships. For many of us, the town of Williamsburg was a major part of our lives. We took our first steps here, made our first friend here, and began to finally find ourselves in this little town. Williamsburg is so special because from kindergarten to 12th grade, we had grown up with the same people in the same town. The unforgettable memories we made with one another will always stay with us. As we get older, we will never forget the little things, like the theme song to The Men Who Built America, thanks to Mr. McKibben, Mr. Bogan's constant lectures on respect, our math teachers making us sing the quadratic formula in front of the whole class, and most of all, we will never forget the dreadful days that Miss Beauty made us read Shakespeare. Our class has undergone many changes in the past year. As much as we are all tired of talking about the dreadful outbreak of COVID-19, the fact that the class of 2021 persevered through this year is worth being recognized for. The famous Michael Jordan once said to always turn a negative situation into a positive situation. I can go on and on about how much we've missed out on, but I am not here to focus on that. I am up here to talk about the things we were able to do in this past year. As a class, we were able to get together to win our annual Powder Puff game, pull off a pretty hilarious senior prank, and become a lot closer with one another. None of this could have happened without our amazing administration, Board of Education, and our teachers. Through this, we all chose not to let a global pandemic get in our way, and I'm very proud of every one of us. We chose to turn the negative situation we had dealt with, into a positive situation. The class of 2021 also had great successes in the classroom and outside of the classroom. In our 4 years of high school, our classes contributed to winning a total of 243 league games, winning 20 league titles in the process. Let me repeat that, 20 league titles. And we also made some impressive runs in the tournament. We also swept the league this spring as softball, baseball, girls track, and boys track all won first in the SBAAC. Huge congratulations to all. The class of 2021 got to be part of the first boys and girls bowling teams. Our band, color guard, and cheerleaders put on many successful performances and brought back lots of school spirit to our school. I would like to give a special shout out and best of luck to our fellow classmates, Braden Kelly and Skylar Grimes, as they have now won the regionals and have qualified for state today. And also to our softball team, as we compete in the Elite Eight with state in mind. I wish us all the best of luck. Academically, our classes contribute to the Science Olympiad, academic, and robotics teams on their many successes. All of these accolades could not have been possible without the wonderful coaches, parents, and community that make up Williamsburg. To have a little fun with this speech, I've researched many of the things that have changed in this world since the class of 2021 was born. I tend to like to make all of you adults feel a little older. Back in 2002, when majority of our class was born, you actually had to put a DVD into your TV to watch a movie. You had to physically go to a bank to transfer your money. To work a computer, you had to use a computer mouse and not your finger. And to top it all off, Facebook wasn't even a thing. I don't even know how y'all survived. But in all seriousness and in closing, I know as we go off to our next adventures, many things will change for us as well. Hopefully these will be positive things, perhaps like flying cars, or graduating college, attending boot camp, or earning our first adult job. The one thing I'm for sure of as we leave this little town is that we will always know that Williamsburg is a part of us. No matter where we go or what we do, class of 2021, we are Wildcats. And once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat.
Miss Madison Alden, will you please come forward? Madison is the valedictorian of the 2021 senior class. It is my pleasure to present her with a plaque in recognition of this outstanding accomplishment.
Good evening, friends, parents, teachers, coaches, administrators, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2021. With great honor, I speak in front of you all who have so positively impacted my life about our lives moving forward. When coming up with a speech for graduation, you have to make a decision on what you want to leave your audience with. For me, that was difficult. I wanted to leave you all with everything, all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom, and all the confidence that life moving forward will be everything you make of it. But truthfully, while I am confident in each one of your abilities, I do not encompass all of the knowledge nor the wisdom. But somehow, I still wanted to encourage you to go out into the world and make a difference, to become the best versions of yourself. With the help from our wonderful guidance counselor, Miss Eilerman, I was able to concise my thoughts down into 3 major life lessons that I would like to share with you today. While I'm sure most of you have heard my story, or at least an outline of it, today I will be sharing with you all what I was able to learn from it. Lesson 1. Control what you can control. This is a saying I have heard my entire life in the softball world. While you cannot control if you physically make a mistake, or if the umpires you have are not the greatest, you can control your attitude, effort, and response to adversity. This saying became apparent to me in the world outside of softball when my parents had to make the quick decision to hold me back a year without being able to discuss it with me. I had no control over the fact that I was in a terrible wreck, or that I was no longer going to be a freshman in high school that year, but I was able to control how I dealt with these struggles. I began working my brain harder than ever to get myself back to normal. Considering the main reason why my parents did not want to send me to high school that year was because of the fear that I may ruin my GPA, when I attended high school that following year, I took my grades very seriously. I was able to control the effort I put in and outside of school to make sure that my grades never slipped, to make sure I was not held back without a good reason. Lesson 2. Every day counts. This saying can be taken in many different ways, but first, I would like to say it means you shall not take life for granted. While I am beyond blessed to have been able to continue sports after my accident, there are many who have had injuries that have caused them to quit playing sports in general. For me, this common quote means that you should live each day to the fullest, because truthfully, there is no way of knowing if it may be your last time stepping onto the field. Every day counts can also be looked upon as a driving force behind practicing your skills each day to try and improve and outwork the competition. Every little bit of practice can improve your game, just like every little bit of studying can improve how you will test over the subject. Ultimately, every day counts can also mean that you should shower others with kindness each day, because do not know what kind of day they may be having. There is strength that comes with being a genuinely kind person, and I encourage you all to show goodwill each day. It will not only benefit you, but also the people around you. Lesson 3. Tough times are often blessings in disguise. When I came around to understanding that I was badly injured in a car accident and had to repeat 8th grade, I was beyond bummed. I found myself questioning, why me? Luckily, these negative thoughts quickly seemed to dissipate as I realized how many individuals were cheering me on. I had not only my family, but also my school and community gathered around me, and the weight I felt as if I was bearing seemed to be lifted. I realized that while I was going to have to work extremely hard to get back to where I was not alone. This seemingly terrible incident that Megan and I went through brought together our community and revealed how blessed we frankly are. I also had the opportunity to go to school and graduate with you all. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I was able to succeed alongside so many of you academically and athletically. I was able to build new friendships and be given new opportunities to grow. Life is going to put you through hardships and tough times. I just hope that when it does, you focus on controlling what you can control. I hope you realize that every day counts and that you must continue to work hard and be determined so that you can make it on to better days. Finally, I hope you realize that everything happens for a reason, and tough times are usually blessings in disguise.
The Williamsburg High School Choir will now perform In the Arms of an Oak. board members, parents, students of Williamsburg High School. This has been a year like no other. We've weathered this pandemic, and we've seen people around us suffer. It hasn't been easy for many in this stadium. While most schools across the country have gone back and forth between in-person and remote learning, we stuck it out. You've been here at school day after day. Our staff and students have continued to demonstrate respect, responsibility, and resilience. That's the Wildcat way. There's not a corner of the world that hasn't been hit by this pandemic. But here in Williamsburg, we toughed it out. This has been my first year as your high school principal, and I would like to say a couple of words about that. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel so welcome here. Thank you for showing me what a solid group of people this community has to offer. Thank you for growing with me and for learning with me. Of course, we've been growing together and growing separately for years. Most of you were my 8th grade leaders when I was your principal in middle school. So we came together, and now it's time to part again. I know many people were eager to put 2020 behind them, and I know many people have been disappointed that 2021 hasn't looked much different. But the country is opening up as we prepare to part. Things are slowly returning to normal. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen the same way everywhere. But here in Williamsburg, you showed grit and courage and resilience and that fighting spirit. And you know what? You made it. Yes, you made it. Through 2020 to 2021, through 2021 to graduation, and now what? I'll tell you what. You're going to keep on making it. You're going to go to job interviews and you will get hired. When you don't, you will keep on applying until you do, because you have that resilience. If you're heading off to college, I want to share a little secret. Some people don't make it in college. Many of them drop out before graduating. But you won't. You made it through a pandemic. You've shown up for school. You kept learning. You kept growing. You didn't put your life on hold for the pandemic. You were careful. You were smart. You did what had to be done. And if you can make it through these trying times, you can make it through anything. Even through college, even through job interviews, and most especially through that first full-time job. Whatever that job will be, you have what it takes. You can make it through whatever your next challenge will be, the challenge after that, and the next challenge after that. Stop for a moment. I want you to look inside your heart. Look deep. Make this promise to yourself. Promise to remember this moment. Promise to remember how 2021 was not an easy year to graduate, but that you did it anyway. And when things get tough, and they will, promise me that you will remember this moment, this accomplishment. I mentioned earlier that this year has been a tough year for many. You might have seen some things that make you sad. You might have seen some things that make you angry. But guess what? You have the power to change those things. I've seen your strength here at Williamsburg High School, and it gives me great comfort as an American to know that my generation is leaving our country in your generation's hands. Respect, responsibility, resilience. That's the Wildcat way. Go forth and have a great life. I would now like to recognize the seniors who have received scholarships to pursue their education farther. The scholarships and awards the students have received are printed in your programs. I'm pleased to announce that this year's senior class, at the time of printing the program, has been awarded $437,049. $27,000 came from local scholarships. So a heartfelt thanks to those organizations, businesses, and individuals that have awarded scholarships to our seniors. I am now going to read the names of the students who have received awards or scholarships. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all names have been called. Please hold your applause until I'm finished reading everyone's name. Ariana Barnhart, Alyssa Carter, Kiana Dowie, Kyle Bobby, Jacob Dunn, Thomas Thurham, Jocelyn Edison, Catherine Irvin, Paige Fisher, Skylar Grice, Autumn Gregory, Daniel Jones, Karis Jurgens, Jonah Korshnick, Maya Mayhem, Savannah McClung, Amanda Mitchell, Madison Ogden, George Payne, Marissa Pangallo, Jacob Polly, Bailey Rowler, Dylan Rowland, Jalen Thatcher, Kirsten Thomas, Grace Tiger, Richie Wareham, and Brenna Viney. I would now like to recognize those students who are members of the National Honor Society or the National Technical Honor Society. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all names have been called. Ariana Barnhart, Alyssa Carter, Mac Clerkenlow, Kyle Dolby, Tommy Durham, Catherine Irvin, Paige Fisher, Samantha Freeman, Autumn Gregory, Skylar Grice, Andrew Hatter, Carissa Jurgens, Jonah Korshnick, Savannah McClung, Amanda Mitchell, Daniel Nesbitt, Madison Ogden, George Payne, Jacob Foley, Bailey Rowler, Dylan Rowland, Kirsten Thomas, Grace Tiger, Alexis Travis, and Brenna Viney. The following students have earned an honors diploma according to the guidelines of the state of Ohio. Would you please stand when your name is called? Ariana Barnhart, Noah Broyles, Alyssa Carter, Catherine Irvin, Paige Fisher, Autumn Gregory, Carissa Jurgens, Jonah Korshnick, Savannah McClung, Amanda Mitchell, Madison Ogden, Jake Foley, Dylan Rowland, Kirsten Thomas, Grace Tiger, and Brenna Viney. The class of 2021 provided 9,888 hours of community service through the Williamsburg Service Learning Program. The following students have provided over 200 hours of community service. Would you please stand when your name is called? Ariana Barnhart, Alyssa Carter, Kiana Dowie, Kyle Dolby, Jocelyn Edmondson, Catherine Irvin, Paige Fisher, Cameron Greer, Autumn Gregory, Haley Jackson, Carissa Jurgens, Jonah Korshnick, Savannah McClung, Madison Ogden, Marissa Pangallo, Evan Pence, Kirsten Thomas, Grace Tiger, and Richie Wareham. I would would now like to recognize those who have chosen to enlist with our military. These young men have made a very difficult, important decision about what to do with their future. Damian Riggs and Seth Wright, would you please stand? Damian and Seth will both be joining the Marine Corps after high school. We wish you well, and our prayers are with you. It is now time for the presentation of diplomas. In an effort to preserve the dignity of this ceremony for our graduates, we ask that you please remain seated and hold your applause until they have all received their diplomas. Will the class please rise? Members of the Board of Education, it is my pleasure to present to you the Williamsburg High School graduating class of 2021. All of these students have successfully completed the course of study as prescribed by the Board of Education. The diploma they are about to receive, the highest honor in our power to bestow, carries with it our respect, confidence, and best wishes for future success. Please take your places for the presentation of diplomas. Madison Savannah Ogden. Paige McKenna Fisher. Alexander James Alcorn. Ariana Grace Barnhart. Joseph James Bechtel. Marissa Desiree Brown. Justin Charles Benton. Taylor J. Browning. Noah Clarkson Box. Alyssa Tate Carter. Thomas J. Brown. Sydney Danielle Coley. Connor Andrew Bunch. Kiana Yvonne Dowie. Evan Tanner Clark. Jocelyn Grace Juanita Edmiston. Mackenzie Danielle Clerkenlow. Catherine Jane Irvin. Dickens. Kyle Edward Dolby. Sebastian Lee Donahoe. Kristen Leanne Frazier. Jacob Wayne Dunn. Samantha Lynn Freeman. Thomas Von Durham. Autumn Sierra Gregory. Shane Marcus Freeman. Haley Marie Jackson. Cameron Glenn Farrell. Carissa Marie Jurgens. Cameron Aiden Jean Greer. Joel Michael Hall. Maya Deborah Mahan. Cody Michael Wayne Harrison. Savannah Dawn McClung. Andrew Gary Hatter. Emma Catherine Milton. Alexander Stephen Henderson. Amanda Brooke Mitchell. Marissa Elaine Pangallo. Daniel Ryan Jones. Bailey Nicole Ratliff. Jonah Paul Clarkson. Haley Dawn Schwab. Jaden Isaiah Crimer. Samantha Nicole Smith. Garrett Blake Mason. Jalen Faye Thatcher. Chase Matthew Naylor. Kirsten Delaney Thomas. Daniel Ethan Nesbitt. Grace Elena Tiger. George Winston Payne. Chelsea Marie Todd. Jacob Michael Pauly. Alexis Morgan Travis. Evan Riley Pence. Brenna Marie Vining. Austin Isaiah Pierce. Damian David Riggs. Raiden Lee Sanderson. Logan James Vargas. Seth Edward Hugh Wright. Evan Richard Wareham. Ethan Charles Sipple. Rowland. Earlier today, we had 2 young men graduate early in the ceremony in the auditorium. These young men are unable to attend this evening due to running in the state and the regional track meet. As Paige said earlier, they both qualified for state in multiple events. Skylar Colton Grice and Braden Patrick Kelly. Will the class please rise? By the power vested in me by the State of Ohio Board of Education and by the Williamsburg Local School District Board of Education, I hereby confer upon you the Diploma of Williamsburg High School. Congratulations, class of 2021.
If there's a Shauna Wilson, there's a Key Bank debit card at the front gate.